first time when I was a kid, I did like it was a portrait of this guy, and I got into charcoal. I think when I was in like 6th or 7th grade, I started using charcoal a lot because I was really obsessed with like shading and like kind of the German expressionism, like really dark, you know, shadows and stuff. So I did this charcoal drawing of this guy. It was like really expressionistic, and I don't know why, I just did it, and then like I showed it to, I think, my grandma or something, and then it kind of just blew up from there. Like, I actually entered it in like the LA County Fair, and I think I won like 1st place or something. So yeah, I was doing charcoal for a while as a kid, and then at one point I think my grandmother bought me micron pens, and that's when everything just let loose, because that's like what I do now mostly, is just like pen and ink drawings and stuff. So yeah, I got micron pens for Christmas one year and started working on that and trying to learn how to work with pen and ink a lot. And then it just was like a slippery slope into like other mediums. See, my family wasn't even, there's not really anybody in my family who are artists. Like, we were like a really big music family, but I think I'm the only artist really in the family, and I just, my parents had like appreciation for like really weird art and like, you know, older art and stuff like that. So like I kind of got my inspiration from there, of just like the books that they would have and like looking at stuff like that. But I think from day one, just like picked up a crayon and was just going for it and never stopped. So. So some of my best pieces that I've done have just come randomly, and it's literally just like as if like I picked my nose from my brain and was just like, psh, like there it is, and then it turns out really great, and people are like, oh, this is so cool, like how'd you do that? I'm like, I don't know, I just threw it on a piece of paper and there it is. And there's other pieces that I've done where I've, you know, if I'm driving or something and I have this like this vision in my mind of like, oh, it'd be really cool if I did this. And then I kind of build on it, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make it and see if it actually works. You know, if I can make it come to life the way that I want it to, which tends to be a struggle in itself. Yeah. But yeah, usually my best pieces, like I said, are just the ones that kind of almost created themselves in a way. I've never really been afraid to show my work. I think I just like the thrill of it, the thrill of, you know, releasing a piece and showing it to people. It's kind of like an adrenaline rush almost, but yeah, I like being reactionary. I like seeing people's reactions and, you know, getting comments, whether they're good or bad. Like I don't know. I've always really been into oddities stuff, like creepy things, bones, antiques, all that good stuff. And then a friend of mine years ago was like, hey, I have a friend who's a taxidermist, and she needs help. She needs like an apprentice to like work with her. And I'm like, oh my god, like that would be amazing, but like there's no way, like that's a dream come true. Too good to be true. But one day I just drove out and we met, and within 5 minutes I just started like working on stuff with her, and it just turned to a runaway train from there. And that was back in, I think, 2017 was when I started doing taxidermy with her. When you do taxidermy, whether it's, you know, somebody's pet or just, you know, a raccoon or something that you found, you're really giving it like a whole nother life. And I mean, I have taxidermy pieces I've collected that are, you know, well over 100 years old. So it's like that guy is, you know, just hanging out still in a way. The process is pretty gory. I normally don't disclose the details, especially to like, I don't really disclose the details to clients because I'm like, this is like, is it your pet? I don't know if you want to know what goes into it, but it's, you know, I mean, it depends. Like if I'm doing just taxidermy, it's just a matter of, you know, getting the hide off and then treating the hide with a, you know, series of chemical baths and stuff like that. And then, you know, you get the tanning solution, and it's a process. Like it could take a while, like up to several months, depending on like how large the animal is. And then, like if I'm doing like something along the lines of like skeletal cleaning, like cleaning bones and like, you know, having a skull preserved or something like that. That can take upwards to a year, because it's a long process to make sure that the bones are pearly white. It's a lot to handle. I never intended my art to be something that I can make money off of. You know, I mean, if I do, like that's just an added bonus, but like it's not really my intention going into it. But for taxidermy, like it is something that I can see myself it being my bread and butter. But at the same time, like taxidermy, I think is also it is very taxing as well. Like emotionally, obviously, because it's, you know, working with dead things is not the easiest job in the entire world, but it is rewarding at the same time. So like I used to do, I mean I haven't done one in a while, but I like doing like mixed media sculptures of just really like weird bizarre art, and that oftentimes will end up being like kind of offensive. And then I would just go someplace and just put it like in the ground, so it would just like be like a sculpture, like a freestanding sculpture somewhere, and people, like I would post about like, oh, if you want to go see the sculpture, go to this GPS location in the desert and go look at it. And people were just getting mad. Like I would get comments about like, oh, this is offensive, blah blah blah, like you're anti-American, just like random things, you know, just depending on like the art piece that I would have, like people, you know, would make comments about it. But like to me, I'm like, this is awesome, like I did my job, like you reacted to it, and I'm sitting back here laughing and like, yeah, it's good. Artswalk has definitely helped me become more part of the community, because I being introduced to like the downtown art scene and the music scene and stuff, and then being able to like make these connections with other artists and people and the arts council, and like getting to know like the galleries that are here, and like really building that community and like being part of it definitely helps, because it gives me as an artist like an outlet to go somewhere and to be able to show my art to people. Because like otherwise, if this didn't exist, you know, I would just be hiding my art in my house and like no one would really get to see it or, you know, experience it in person. So I think that's really important, and I think it's important for other artists, especially, you know, it being like an all ages event. I think it's important that the up and coming creatives in Riverside have a place to go and have this community for them to be able to like flourish and move on and do whatever else they want to do. Next goal, my plan lately has been that I need to just start working on it now, is making a solo show. Because of all the years I've been doing art and everything, I've yet to do a solo show before. So I want to like get that out of the way and like really plan for it, because I have the ideas in my mind. I just need to make it happen. And then I think from there it's just, I want to continue to be involved with like more group shows or even do more collaborations and kind of expand the mediums that I work with. And like, you know, there's photographers and there's other artists. It's like I want to find ways that like I can work with them too. See, I'm always constantly thinking about this, of like how I'd want my very first solo show to be, and I've had discussions about it. And I think, because like I do want a theme, but I think literally the theme would just be what it means to like be in my mind, like the world of Magnolia, and like what's going on in here, and like how can I like take this and make it immersive, so that way everybody else can experience for it until like, you know, they leave those doors. Yeah. And that's kind of like what I have envisioned, is just making it almost like an installation, but not quite. I don't know. There's a lot that needs to keep going, like in the works, but yeah, that's kind of like the general idea that I have. I think like if I had to give myself advice, like to the younger me, it would definitely be like, just do not be afraid to put your foot out there. Don't be afraid to take every opportunity that comes your way. Even if like you're like, oh, that's kind of lame, like I don't know if I want to do that, just do it anyway. Because like the more you're able to like get your foot in the door doing things and getting involved in like art shows or festivals or whatever it may be, the easier you can make connections to people. And then from there, it's like, it's just a stepping stone to the point where you can finally be like, okay, no, I want to do this. Who wants to be on it with me? And aside from that, I would say like, it's just important to just like keep doing like what you want to do, like keep making your art. And if you feel like you need to give up, you probably shouldn't. Like, don't give up. It's dumb. Don't do it. But yeah, the meaning of being an artist. I mean, I feel like I question that all the time. Like you know, or it's like the idea of like, what is art? You know, and there's people like Duchamp that's just like, it's a urinal, that's art, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, okay, well then, what does it mean to be an artist? And, I don't know. Because I think part of the reason why I have such a hard time wrapping my head around that question is because I don't even feel like I'm an artist half the time. So, yeah, I don't know. The world may never know.
I think we've got enough.
Cool.
It's a wrap.